Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon X and Y narrated Wi-Fi battle. Today's battle is an RU match against an opponent which I believe went by the name of MrMuslimGamer when he challenged me on my live stream, so I'm just going to call him that for the purposes of this battle. Now this battle is a lot of fun, mostly because I get to show off Delphox, which if you remember my analysis video that I did on it many months back, I posted a defensive Delphox set that I really liked, and in using it, I've actually found that it is probably one of my favorite sets to use, just overall, and it's so great that I get to show this off on one of the new 6th Gen Pokemon. So you'll see a bit of that in this battle, as well as a Clawitzer set, which is a Specs Clawitzer with U-turn and stuff like that. I'm also bringing a Rotom with the Grass form attachment, a Chinchino, a Registeel, and a Hitmonchan, whereas my opponent brought a Drapion, a Claydol, a Clawitzer of his own, a Whimsicott, a Gallade, and a Swellow. So without any further waiting, let's just jump into things right now. So to start things off, I'm going to lead off with my Clawitzer, as my opponent decides to lead off with his Swellow. Now because the orb of the Toxic or Flame variety is not activated yet on the Swellow, I'm safe to stay in and just go for an attack, and if he wants to protect, I can just switch out into Registeel on the following turn. But he decides to just U-turn out of there, goes into his Gallade, and because I am a Specs Clawitzer in this situation, it's actually going to do quite a bit of damage to this Gallade, which I'm assuming, judging by that damage, is Assault Vest. Now, I do actually get the Confusion on this turn, and luckily for me, he actually hits himself on Confusion on the following turn, which is really great because I now get to keep Clawitzer in here and just constantly fire off Water Pulses until I'm given a reason not to. Now, interestingly enough, he goes into a Whimsicott right here, which actually loses half of its health despite it resisting the hit because of the power of Specs Clawitzer, which I am starting to love a lot when using this set in particular. But I don't actually want to stay in here because obviously Whimsicott's going to outspeed, and I don't want to take a Giga Drain, so I do switch out here into my Rotom, which is going to be able to take pretty much whatever hit this Whimsicott wants to go for very nicely. Now, it has the Giga Drain, obviously, and typically they usually don't run too many attacking moves, so the fact that it actually has both Giga Drain and Moonblast took me a little bit off guard, just because you don't see that too often, but it is definitely something that is very useful on a lot of Whimsicotts to run. But he goes for that there, and I just Volt Switch out of there because I wanted kind of a better Pokemon in on the situation, and I knew that Rotom could take whatever hit Whimsicott was going to go for, so I decided that this is the perfect opportunity to go out into my Delphox. Now, I'm going to burn him here because I predicted him to switch out, but he actually stayed in and went for the Stun Spore, unfortunately missing, but that actually was really surprising to me, just the fact that he stayed in and also that he went for the Stun Spore. But he actually also has the Encore here, which shows me now that I've seen his full set that he actually does not have the Leech Seed or the Taunt, which is really good to know and will definitely allow me to play around this thing a little bit easier. Now, even though he did Encore me into the Will-O-Wisp, it's still not a bad thing to be encored in because obviously, you know, getting a burn on anything is really good, but he sees this as a perfect opportunity to go into a Swellow because obviously Swellow won't mind the burn whatsoever because it has Guts, and as you're going to see on this turn, he has a Flame Orb anyway, so it would have just created the same effect. But I don't want to stay in here with my Rotom anymore, so I have a free switch pretty much into Registeel right here, considering that Swellow pretty much will never be able to do much damage to Registeel, even with the Guts boost, because the only two attacking types that Swellow usually has are Flying and Normal, and obviously Registeel resists both of them, which is really great. So this is going to give me a free opportunity to go for the Stealth Rock on this turn, which is going to be great because that's going to allow me to get some really good damage on that Swellow. I am very terrified of that, mainly because I actually don't have anything on my team that is actually faster than that Swellow, so I need to get up the rocks to help wear it down throughout the battle, and it's definitely going to be able to do that. Now here, I obviously predict the Fighting type attack, go into my Delphox right here. I take that extremely well, obviously because it is a resisted hit, but also because I am a defensive Delphox, as I've mentioned before, and I'm going to get the free opportunity now to just go for a Mystical Fire and try and take it out. Now, even if he did have the Shadow Sneak, really wasn't too afraid of it because I do have quite a bit of defense, so I would have been able to take it very well anyway. But I am able to get off the Mystical Fire and drop this Claydol special attack, meaning that I am no longer really worried about the threat of a Earth Power, because I can just continuously lower its special attack if it is that variant of Claydol, or if it is a physical variant, I'm going to burn it right here, so if it wants to go for Earthquake, I could probably take that either way pretty well, and also continue to Wish, Protect, and get up health as he slowly gets taken down by burn damage. But he decides to Rapid Spin here, which is a really good play, obviously, to preserve the Swellow on his team, and mitigate the damage that it's going to be taking when it enters the battle, as Swellow is a huge threat to my team at this point in time. Now I'm going to go for the Wish right here because I pretty much have a free turn to do whatever I want. I'm not worried about anything the Claydol is going to go for, and if he does want to stay in and go for an Earth Power and Earthquake on this turn, I can easily take it and then just get the recovery from Wish and be back up to basically full health. So here I'm just going to stay in because of that reason and just go for a Mystical Fire. And luckily for me, he's actually going to switch out into his Gallade. Maybe he predicted me to switch into something in particular, or he just wanted to bring his Gallade in as death fodder. I'm not really sure right there. But it's still a really good situation for me because I get to take out that Pokemon, and now I'm given an opportunity to easily switch in on this Clawitzer here, which, even though I don't have a resist to it with Registeel, I'm going to take this Water Pulse fairly well. Unfortunately though, now he gets the confusion, which obviously, I guess that is the retaliation confusion from the beginning of the battle, and that Water Pulse did quite a bit of damage. I'm thinking that he is also Specs based on the damage, but maybe I just am underestimating the power of a modest Clawitzer. But he goes for the Water Pulse a second time, which means that I probably believe that he is locked in on the move, because if he had the Aura Sphere and he wasn't choiced in any way, he probably would have went for it right there. But luckily I'm able to live a second one, get off a Thunder Wave, and then I get off a decent chunk of damage with a Seismic Toss. I love that animation, it never gets old. I think that's one of the coolest animations in 6th Gen. But anyways, he's going to take me out right here, but this is going to give me a free opportunity to go into my own Clawitzer, because A, I'm probably faster than him, which is really good, and B, because I can predict him to switch out and just go for a U-turn right here, which is going to give me the free opportunity to pretty much just counter whatever this Whimsicott was brought in to do, which is obviously take the water move from my Clawitzer. However, if I did go for the Water Pulse right there, it still probably would have took him out, which is actually really funny to think about. But either way, I have my Rotom in here right now. Sorry, I was about to call it by its nickname. And I know that I can take the Moonblast, so I'm free to stay in, gets a crit and a special attack drop, but that's not going to matter too much because I'm just going to go for the Leaf Storm. Even though it is resisted and I am -1, it's still a base 140 power move that is also increased in power because of Stab, so it's going to be more than enough to take out the Whimsicott, especially based on how weak its special defense was, as you saw earlier, when my Clawitzer was able to pretty much take away half of its health with the resisted hit. But anyways, he's just going to bring in Swellow right here, and Swellow, as always, is going to be easily able to clean up pretty much anything on my side of the field. So I'm going to go into the Hitmonchan right here because I'm just going to go for Mach Punch because I want to do a lot of damage to the Swellow and hope that I can take it down easier. But unfortunately, my opponent does switch out right here, obviously predicting the Mach Punch and not wanting to go for Brave Bird, even though Facade probably would have killed, but I kind of tried to coax him into doing that as well. But he actually takes this Mach Punch really well with Drapion, which surprised me a little bit at the time. I know Drapion is very defensive, but I still thought it was going to take it a lot better. And because I have a fighting type in, I'm thinking there's no way he's going to go for a dark type move, but he goes for it anyway. Which is really annoying because I was really hoping that wasn't going to happen. I don't know why you would go for knockoff against a Hitmonchan, but he did it anyway. I live it, which just goes to show you how freaking bulky this Delphox is, just to throw that out there, guys. If I can live a knockoff from a Drapion, that's pretty fantastic from a Pokemon that most people see as offensive. But anyways, just going to go for a Mystical Fire. I knew he was going to predict the Burn, or the Will-O-Wisp, excuse me, so he was either going to go into Swellow or Claydol. I still got a bit of damage on the Claydol with the Mystical Fire, and because I'm going to outspeed here, I'm just going to go for the Wish, which is going to give me a free opportunity to now go out into my Chinchino, which I didn't mention before, but this Chinchino is actually Focus Sashed. So the reason why this Wish is so important is because I took damage from Stealth Rock, so my Focus Sash is no longer relevant at all. But on the following turn, after I take down this Claydol, I'm going to get the Wish recovery, bringing me back up to full health, which then in turn will make my Focus Sash active again because I'm now at full health. And I was crossing my fingers hoping he would switch into Swellow right here, but he didn't. Goes into Drapion instead, and I'm like, alright, I need a plan to take out this Drapion, but I also need to somehow find a way to get rid of the Stealth Rocks on the field. So I go into Clawitzer first. He goes for the knockoff. Obviously the best play to go right there was that move, and I'm just going to go for the Water Pulse right here, and I actually do quite a bit of damage now that my Choice Specs is gone still. If I did still have the Choice Specs, obviously that would have been a huge chunk of damage. He would probably have been at like a quarter of his health left, which is really, awesome just to show the power of Clawitzer. But I'm going to actually first now go into my Hitmonchan. Rapid Spin is the most important move right here. It is going to pretty much give me the game if I can make this all work out. So I go for that first. Thankfully, he goes for the knockoff. It doesn't go for the Cross Poison, which is good for me because I actually kind of gain a benefit of having possibly an extra turn of life because of that. And obviously the Drain Punch is going to help me recover health as well. Cross Poison, though, as you see there, still didn't really do that much, but I'm praying to God that he does not get a crit, because as many of you know, Drapion has the Sniper ability, which increases the damage of critical hits. So I'm thankful that that didn't happen. I'm able to actually 2-hit KO him with the Drain Punches and be at a pretty good amount of health, which on this following turn, after I go for this Drain Punch against the Clawitzer, which survives just barely, now that I'm at full health from the Drain Punch, I'm actually going to be able to live the Water Pulse, which I'm assuming is Choice Specs now, definitely. But luckily, because I lived that, I'm able to keep Drapion in here. Sorry, not Drapion, Hitmonchan in here. But that wasn't going to matter too much because I still obviously had my Cinccino, which would have easily outsped and just went for Bullet Seed. But he goes for the Quick Attack here. Unfortunately, I don't get to go for the Mach Punch. And now here, I basically have to rely on Cinccino's ability to hit the Swellow. Thankfully, as you see right here, Swellow does outspeed, goes for the Facade, but because I have my full health and I got rid of the rocks, I now have the Focus Sash, and thankfully the Rock Blast does hit. So I am able to actually win this battle with a 1 HP survival thanks to the Focus Sash, which I was pretty much trying to preserve for the majority of the game because I knew that that Swellow was a threat from the beginning and I needed some way of taking it out, and Cinccino was definitely the best Pokemon to do that. But anyways, everybody, thank you all for watching this battle. I hope you all enjoyed this RU match, and thank you, MrMuslimGamer, for challenging me on my stream and agreeing to have this battle with me. But that is it for this battle, everyone. So if you would like to get a battle with me, obviously feel free to follow me on Twitch TV so you can watch my streams and also be notified when I'm streaming. I also post a video on my YouTube channel whenever I do stream, so you all can come out and watch. It's always a really good fun time, and you can get the chance to battle me, and I might even just upload our match. But anyways, everybody, that is it for this video. So as always, take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.